Okay, magandang gabi Pilipinas. Good evening fellow Filipinos. Good morning and good afternoon to our audience from the other parts of the world who are with us for tonight's session. Welcome to the IGP's 622nd Free International Webinar. And thank you so much for joining with us in this wonderful session. Once again, I am your host. I am Mr. Rianjun P. Calling from Aklan, Philippines, and I will be in charge for tonight's activity. I am a senior high school mathematics teacher of Baton Academy, a national school in the Department of Education Division of Aklan, Philippines, and it is a great honor and privilege to be in the IGP as one of its webinar hosts and, of course, to be one of the 1,000 active members around the globe. I am happy to welcome you all in this Institution of Global Professionals Free International webinar, and I hope everyone will stay active to participate in our activities, especially in our IGP quiz, for you to have a chance to win an e-certificate, and of course, to our question and answer part later on. And before we continue, you may like and comment while our webinar is going on. Please tag, share, and mention your friends in the comment box so that we can be able to share with them the knowledge that our speaker will impart to us tonight. In this virtual world, we can watch together and learn together. The events and activities that IGP provide to us, dear participants, are proofs that pandemic does not just bring challenges and difficulties, but also it offers a lot of opportunities for us to learn and grow professionally. For the new members, let me give some backgrounds about IGP. IGP stands for Institute of Global Professionals, and it is an ISO certified education institute and has certified trainings and webinars that is reflected in the e-certificate that each participant will receive after attending each session. And it is recognized internationally and globally accredited to more than 100 countries. IGP is a leading online skill development institute with thousands of learners worldwide. IGP serves the world communities by providing holistic social work and education to help build a world with a strong foundation of education and life skills. IGP gives opportunities accessible for every knowledge seeker to gain mastery of skills, to develop personality, to become more goal-oriented, to strengthen confidence in facing any circumstances in life, and to enhance skills by inviting great speakers and professionals from other parts of the world. The organization believes that skills development is not only gained through a formal education. So IGP offers free international virtual training and consultation to young professionals who are willing to learn, improve, and embrace changes. IGP organizes webinars, trainings, both offline and online courses with the best and highly trained speakers and coaches from all corners of the world to create the best learning platform for all of us, dear participants. Again, before we continue, may I request all our audience to please again share, tag, comment, and mention your friends in the comment box and encourage them to join in this social learning platform of professionals. Such a simple act serves as your support to our organization. Moreover, participants who will attend to this free international webinar will receive an e-certificate that you can use in the future. Okay, and tonight we are presenting the 622nd webinar with the title Diversity and Cultural Awareness in the Classroom. And we have a speaker from the Philippines who will give us more ideas and insights regarding the topic. Meanwhile, dear participants, you can take down your questions and queries about this lecture, and later on we will have a question and answer part where you can address it to our speaker. And now it's time to start our program. Let me introduce to you our speaker. Just a very short introduction. She is a teacher 3 of Anao National High School in the Department of Education, Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our speaker for this 622nd webinar session. We have Ma'am Melanie G. Barroso from the Philippines. Good evening, Ma'am.
Good evening, Sir Winjun.
Yes.
So good evening, dear participants, to this international webinar. So my topic is about diversity and cultural awareness in the classroom. So thank you, Sir Rinjun, for introducing me to our audience. So again, I am Melanie G. Barroso. I am an English teacher in Anao High School, Tarlac Province, Philippines. So again, welcome to this webinar. So for tonight, I am going to share my insights from the articles I read from WebSource, as well as from the modules of Semeo Enotech Guru 21 Course 1. So let's get started in talking about diversity and cultural awareness in the classroom. So to begin, let us find out the insight of this poem by Amy Maddox. It goes this way. He prayed, it wasn't my religion. He ate, it wasn't what I ate. He spoke, it wasn't my language. He dressed, it wasn't what I wore. He took my hand, it wasn't the color of mine. But when he laughed, it was how I laughed. And when he cried, it was how I cried. Alright, so this poem is really inspiring, right? The author of this poem not only speaks of diversity in terms of religion, in terms of culture, in terms of language, in terms of race, but she also highlighted not the differences of people, but what is common or similarities people have. So we feel the same emotion. When other people laugh, we also laugh. While other people cry, we also know how to cry. So those are common to all the people. So let's talk about diversity. Oxford Languages Dictionary defines diversity as the practice or quality of including or involving people from a range of different social and ethnic backgrounds and of different genders, sexual orientations, and many others. So this diversity occurs among our learners, and of course, it occurs or happen in our classroom. So let us see what learners' diversity is. Let us find out what are the differences among our students. So when we speak of learner diversity, we refer to both group and individual differences in our students. It exists in every classroom, and it can have a powerful effect on learning. So these learners, our students, are influenced by several factors or source. Some of these are language, some of these are gender, some of these are culture, and socio-economic status. So we are dealing with different students having individual differences. So as teachers, we are aware that we are handling, we are teaching our students who are entirely different to one another. In fact, with their differences, we face a challenge. We face some issues in promoting harmonious relationship in our classroom. As we say, there is diversity in the classroom. So when we speak of diversity in the classroom, we refer to the differences of our students' performance level. So some of our students are proficient or advanced, some are basic or below basic. When it comes to the learning rate, some of our students are what we call fast learners, and there are students who are we call them struggled learners. So we also refer diversity to the differences of our students in ethnicity, culture, social class, home language, and gender. Some of our students also differ in mental capabilities. Some of them have disabilities, and some are gifted or talented in one or more areas. So these are the real scenario in the classroom. We can observe that our students perform differently. In fact, we also have our students having different learning style. So if you observe, some of our students are visual learners. Some of them are auditory, and some are tactile. So as teachers, I know you are already familiar with the different learning styles of our students. So as I mentioned a while back, that we teachers are challenged to address the individual differences of our students. The question is, how do you manage, or how can we manage diversity in our classroom? So let me share some strategies taken from a web source and from Semeo Group or Guru 21 Course 1 module. So just recently, we had our revalida in this course. And in fact, I was also very thankful for the opportunity and for having been enrolled in this course. So let me now start sharing you some of these strategies in handling diversity in the classroom. So these are the following: get to know your students, acknowledge and respect every student, practice cultural sensitivity, incorporate diversity in the lesson plan, and give students freedom and flexibility. Let us try to discuss each one of these strategies. First, we have to get to know your students. So how are we going to do this? So take time to learn about the cultural background of our students, their hobbies, their learning style, and what makes them unique. And we should also maintain consistent communication. So in getting to know our students, we can have several means of doing this. Like for instance, during the start of the school year, we can ask our student to fill up a student profile. This student profile contains their personal information, their academic and non-academic achievement, or what we call the co-curricular activities in which our students are interested. And this learning profile or student profile, also include the talents and skills of our learners. So if we want to be sure their honesty and the accuracy of what they wrote in the learner's or student profile, we can invite a particular student for a one-on-one conference. Or better yet, we can also invite and talk to the parent or guardian of our student. Another way of getting familiar to our student is by having a consistent communication to them. So during this pandemic, especially that most schools, particularly public schools, are using distance learning modality, in particular the printed modular distance learning mode of delivery. We teachers make use of of different ways in reaching our students. So we reach out or we communicate to our students by or through a phone call, sometimes by text, and we also utilize the social media like the Facebook Messenger. Okay, so most of us make use of a group chat as our platform in which we communicate to our students, and we also use video conference and communicating to our students. So aside from this, we can also communicate to our students by sending them letters. So like for instance, during the distribution of modules, we can also send letters by including them in putting them in the modules of our students. Or we can also send some simple notes inspiring our students in their studies. So by maintaining communication to our students, we can identify the issues or problems they encounter during classes. So as facilitator of learning, we do our best to communicate to our students. So in our communication, especially in using social media or the Facebook Messenger, that serves as our platform in learning or in delivering our instructions to our learners. That is also the time or the platform wherein we can discuss the students' progress in class, and we can facilitate learning effectively. So we entertain the questions of our students, we give announcements, and we address, in other words, to all their concerns. So in doing all this, we can establish trust and bond to our students. So when students feel valued and appreciated, they feel that they belong to our class, they feel comfortable with us teachers. And when they have this feeling, there is also a big chance that they will also feel comfortable with their classmates, and they will also learn to respect them. So let's move on to another strategy of addressing diversity among our students. So the second one is acknowledge and respect every student. So we encourage students to research and learn about their cultural backgrounds. So this is one way in which we can acknowledge and respect our students. So we allow them, or we give them opportunity to read about their own cultural backgrounds. So once the students become familiar to their own culture, the class will develop their understanding of other cultures. So by this, they will have meaningful interactions with each other. So meaning to say, our students can share to one another their cultural background. And from that, they develop respect and empathy towards their classmates. Another means also of acknowledging and respecting every student is by allowing our students to present their family traditions and culture in our class. So when we do this, this will be an exciting and interesting icebreaker to our students. So this is very good means in which through this activity we can help our students to get to know each other. So this activity also helps promote understanding in the classroom. But as teachers, we should consider that as we encourage our students to learn about their diverse background, we should remind them to be respectful and be matured when talking about the culture of each other. Or else, we will fail to attain our objective of promoting understanding and respect in the classroom. So before conducting this activity that we plan, we first inform our students, or we remind our students to be respectful when they speak each other's culture and tradition. The third one is practice cultural sensitivity. So be sensitive to everyone's culture, beliefs, and language concerns. Take time to understand each student's cultural nuances, from learning styles to the language they use, and use these insights so in practicing cultural sensitivity, as teachers, we should emphasize to our students that no culture is superior than another. They are simply different. Let us help encourage our students to become aware of their own culture and preferences, and to understand other people. I remember during the webinar I attended about conceptualizing localized material, our resource speakers reminded us to be careful in addressing indigenous people in our country. So, we should avoid stereotyping or the name calling or describing our IPs or indigenous people in the way um, that all people are familiar to their look. So, and we avoid stereotyping. We avoid the name calling. So we avoid this in order to we avoid these things to happen so that we will not be able to hurt the feeling of other people having that kind or having that culture. So that's what we call cultural sensitivity. So take time to understand each student's cultural nuances or distinctions. So from learning styles to the language they use, and use these insights to design your lesson plans. So if you observe, our students feel pride when they are used as example by their teachers. Especially, or of course, when the teachers use our students, mention the name of our students as an example, as a role model, they are inspired and they are or they feel a sense of pride. So how much more if we can tackle their culture and tradition in the discussion of our lesson. So of course they will be happy, they will also feel a sense of pride for being in that particular culture. So what can we do is to craft our lesson plan addressing about their unique culture and unique tradition. So next is incorporate diversity in the lesson plan. So how can we do this? So one way is presenting and connecting lessons to real world issues, and by giving our students differentiated tasks. So as teachers, before we teach, of course, we first prepare our lesson plans so that we will be guided on how are we going to deliver our lesson that would address diversity or the individual differences of our students. Based on my readings of Guru 21 Module 1, it is recommended that we utilize all the different learning styles of our students. So when we speak of the different learning styles, we refer to the to our learners who are visual learners, auditory, and tactile learners. So some of them are interested in the lesson when they see a lot of images, words. Some are auditory, meaning they are very good or so much interested in listening. And tactile, they are more on application. They use their hands, okay, in accomplishing a certain task. So to cater the preferred style of our learners, it is advisable that we incorporate or use all these learning styles of our students. So for example, when we teach a novel to our class, we can have activities like, first, we conduct individual silent reading to our students. So after that, we ask some of our students or volunteer to read aloud And then we can also ask our students to act out some particular scene in the novel that we are discussing in class. And we can also ask our students to complete timeline of events. So you see there are different, what we call this, differentiated tasks. So in providing this task, our students will be able to show their talents and abilities because for instance, you allow them to choose the task that they would like to do based from their uh, interest, based from their skills, and based from their abilities. So our students will find this activity an exciting one, and of course, we will expect that they will perform or give their best in their performance. So going back to the strategy of incorporating diversity in our lesson, so when we teach these strategies in reading, our students will have full comprehension of the novel they read. They will better understand the lesson that we teacher are discussing to them. And it is also very necessary that we present and connect our lessons to real world issues. So this is not only applicable in social studies class. In fact, regardless of the subject we teach, we can emphasize the relevance of the lesson in real life situation. So connecting what we are discussing to what is happening around us. So we can connect it to, for instance, what is happening in our community, what is happening in our school, what is happening in their houses, what is happening in the world. So from this, our students will realize the importance of being of the importance of what you call this, knowing the lesson that you are teaching. So they will listen very well and they will participate actively in the discussion of the lesson. So next strategy is give students freedom and flexibility. So as we all know that we are handling 21st century learners. So as teacher of this type of students or these 21st century students, we should know and we should act as a facilitator and encourage conversation and healthy debate between diverse opinions. So, to manage diversity in the classroom, we should be an effective facilitator of learning. Encourage our students to participate in a conversation. Like for instance, you are discussing a particular topic. Give students freedom to share their ideas. We do not discourage students when they give not, or what we call that, incorrect or not precise answer. Instead, we praise them for sharing their ideas. So we can also conduct a healthy debate. So for example, you are teaching a debatable issue or topic, like for instance, you want your students to exchange or have a conversation or to have their ideas about um, example is to which do you prefer, living nowadays or if living during old times. Okay, so pretend that you already know what happened during old times. Would you like to have the way of living like them, or you want um, this way of living these days? So as a teacher, um, we should be a facilitator. We should know how to remind our students to be respectful to each other ideas and opinions on a particular issue being discussed in us. As a teacher facilitator, we are guide on the side of our students. We give them more responsibilities in performing their task. So another is give group assignment task. So by giving group assignment task, this is one way of exposing our students to various perspectives or viewpoints of his classmates. In giving group tasks, we are preparing them for a diverse workforce where they will have to partner with a range of people to accomplish their professional goals. So while they are still in school, we train them to work together, to collaborate in exploring and in solving problems. So again, those are the strategies in managing diversity in the classroom. Now this time, let us try to discuss cultural awareness in the classroom. And why is it important to teach culture in the classroom? Let us talk about cultural awareness. What is cultural awareness? Cultural awareness is all about recognizing and understanding that we all have different values shaped by our diverse cultural backgrounds. What we consider to be normal behavior in one country can be entirely different in another. As a teacher, we are expected to promote cultural awareness to our students because we are preparing them to be in harmony and peace with one another. Not just only today, but especially in the future. The question is, how can we promote cultural awareness in the classroom? So let me share 5 culturally responsive teaching strategies for educators like us. First, let us know what culturally responsive teaching is. So culturally responsive teaching, also called culturally relevant teaching, is a pedagogy that recognizes the importance of including students' cultural references in all aspects of learning. So, here are some strategies on how we can promote cultural awareness to our learners or to our students. First is activate students' prior knowledge. Encourage students to draw on their prior knowledge in order to contribute to group discussions, which provides an anchor to learning. So from the module of Semeo Guru 21 course, I have read that we have to recognize that the prior learning and life experiences of our learners are valuable foundation for constructing new knowledge and skill sets. So in activating the prior knowledge of our students, we can give preliminary activity to them to help them make connections between the new information that we are going to teach and the information they already know. We can use several activities in activating our students' prior knowledge, such as brainstorming, the use of KWL chart, which stands for K, what I know, W, what I want to know, and L, what I learn. We can also use graphic organizers, concept maps, and others to activate our students' prior knowledge. So these activities can be done individually or by group. What should we do is to allow our students to share their experience or their ideas, which will have a connection to the topic that we are to discuss in their class. So I'm sure when we do this, our students will be motivated to share and participate in the class discussion. Next is make learning contextual. So tie or connect lessons from the curriculum to the students' social communities to make it more contextual and relevant. So when teachers contextualize the lessons, the students will easily understand it. They will also be more interested to learn and to interact actively during the discussion because they are familiar. They are familiar to the lesson that you are discussing in class. So for example, if you are reading a chapter in history class or in your social studies class, we discuss why it matters today. Or you ask why it matters today in your school or in your community. Or in other words, we relate our lesson to what is happening or existing in real life. So that is how we contextualize our learning, or we contextualize the lesson to our students. Then number 3, encourage students to leverage their cultural capital. So that our students will be aware of their culture, be proud of the culture, of their culture. We can give a group work to the students that would allow them to collaborate and share their ideas. So, for example, in your classroom, you may have observed how diversity among our members may lead to quality projects as a result of their teamwork and collaborative efforts. So by giving a group work to our students, they can share their ideas, they can share their opinions, they can suggest, they can recommend, they can come up with a decision for a group task. So each member here contributes his own unique knowledge, skills, and talents towards successful completion of the task on hand. So we observe in our class that they have unique talents. So in a group activity, they can use their talents and skills in performing their tasks. For instance, some of our students are skillful in data gathering. Others are good in making illustrations or drawings, while others may be adept at presenting the result of the study, or some are good speakers, some are good in singing, some are good in analyzing, some are good in in technology. So by having a group activity, they will be able to use their talents to come up with a very good output in the class. For example, you give them a project, they will eventually finish an excellent project. So next is reconsider your classroom setup. So what will you do is take inventory of the books in your classroom library. Consider books with diverse authors. So before pandemic, most of our classrooms, or some of the classrooms, especially in elementary and even in some public high schools, we have bookshelves in our class. So during the free time of our students, they can read books. So if you still have this bookshelves, you have a lot of books in your library, it is good thing to consider that the books containing or in our bookshelves come from or we have different authors of those books, not only authors from the Philippines but also authors from or all over the world. So from this, our students will be familiar to the culture of other people. We can also display posters that shows the diverse cultures on the walls in our classroom, for instance, in our bulletin boards. So by doing this, our students will be familiar, will be aware that that different cultures exist in our, not only in our country but all over the world. So they will get familiar to these cultures. Okay, so these are simple things, but I know this will be effective means of promoting awareness, cultural awareness to our students in the classroom. And number 5, build relationships. So teachers need to work to build relationship with their students to ensure they feel respected, valued, and seen for who they are. So to build relationship with our students, we can establish clear expectations, or first we provide a particular structure. So establish clear expectations and practicing class procedures early. Okay, so we have to set rules. So what should or how should the students behave in class? How should the students behave when the teacher is discussing the lesson, when someone is reciting in class, when they want to recite, what are they going to do? If they want to seek permission to go if they want to go out, what will we do? So these are some strategy, a particular strategy on establishing relationship to our students. So our students will know their limitations. They will be familiar to your rules, and they will act in a manner accordingly. So another thing to build relationship is to teach our students with enthusiasm and passion. So as teachers of 21st century learners, aside from being knowledgeable in the lesson on the subject matter that we are discussing our class, we should show enthusiastic behavior to our students. Okay, so when we show this kind of behavior to our students, they will also be so much interested, listening, participating, sharing ideas during class discussion. So show them that you really love what you are doing, that you really love teaching them, and you really want and you desire you desire them to learn better. So to build relationship, we can also incorporate humor. Remember, everybody loves laughing. So, for instance, we are teaching a very serious topic. There is nothing wrong if we can also tell some humorous story. We can inject some jokes, but be careful in making jokes. Do not give load jokes. Okay, so you can share anecdotes that would catch the interest of our students. So because we observe that some of our students are or have short span, especially when we are teaching um, elementary pupils, kindergarten pupils, they have very short interest span. And even high school students, there are times that they easily get bored, especially if our lesson is very serious. So by injecting humor, by making them laugh, they would be interested to listen to you as you discuss your lesson. So make our students lively. Make our students laugh. Okay? So those are some of the strategies in promoting cultural awareness in the classroom. So I hope you gain some insights to what I have shared. So let's move on. Why is it important to teach culture in the classroom? So every time we teach a particular lesson to our students, we should always ask why we teach that lesson. Why should our students know this lesson? Why should they know how to compute, how to read, how to analyze, how to solve problem? So we also ask why we teach culture in the classroom. So diversity and cultural awareness are essential in the classroom. They have benefits to our students, now that they are in the school, and even in the long term. So once they graduated in high school, they graduated in college, they will still have this awareness or cultural awareness. So some of the reasons why we teach cultural awareness in the classrooms are: first, promoting awareness and creating personal connection with diverse cultures in the classroom can prevent students from developing prejudices later in life. It allows them to empathize with people different from themselves, since they are more aware of the experiences someone of a different race or culture the group may face. So students become more empathic. Promoting awareness and creating a personal connection with diverse cultures in the classroom can prevent prejudices later in life. So in other words, when we encourage our students to be aware of the different cultures of their classmates, they learn to empathize or feel what other feels. So when we empathize, we put ourselves to the shoes of other people. So we will understand why do people act this way, why do they do this, and why do people do not do this. So we will better understand other people when we are aware of the culture where they belong. So we become more empathic. So correction, that is not empathetic, that is empathic. So we empathize them. We feel what they feel. So number 2, students gain a better understanding of lessons and people. When working and learning with people from a variety of backgrounds and cultures present in the classroom, students gain a more comprehensive understanding of the subject matter. It also teaches students how to use their own strength and points of view to contribute in a diverse working environment. This is really true. When we help our students practice working as a team or as a group, they will understand better the lessons that we are discussing, because they will gain insights from each other, because they have the freedom to share their ideas, they have the freedom to share their opinions. So from their viewpoints or viewpoints of each other, our students learn. So when teachers also allow the students to collaborate, they can use their talents or skills at the same time they learn to socialize. And this is very important, that we develop our learners to socialize or to be socially matured. So by a group activity, they develop this. They socialize with one another in a given group task. Another reason why we promote cultural awareness is to make our students become more open-minded. So naturally, by exposing our students to a diverse range of opinions, thoughts, and cultural backgrounds, we are encouraging them to be more open-minded later in life. This will make them open to new ideas and be able to attain a greater comprehension on a topic by taking in different points of view. So, our students will be respectful as they hear the ideas of other people. So he would not only feel that he is superior to them. Okay? So they will have an open-minded. They will have a positive attitude, accepting ideas of other people. And not only his ideas. So, in other words, cultural awareness help our students develop the value of cooperation. So they would realize that when they are given a particular task, for example, a problem solving, they will come up with an effective decision when ideas come to different persons. So next reason why we teach or why we promote cultural awareness is students feel more confident and safer and safe. Students who learn about different cultures during their education feel more comfortable and safe with these differences later in life. This allows them to interact in a wide range of social groups and feel more confident in themselves, as well as in their interactions with others. So, when students are aware, when students know the culture of each other, the culture of their classmates, they will feel that they feel the sense of belongingness. Okay? They belong to a family. They will have the feeling of being at home and develop a feeling of security because a trust is developed when students can talk freely of their differences in terms of their culture. Then the last reason why we promote cultural awareness in our class or in our classroom is that students are better prepared for a diverse workplace. So with the rise of globalization, it's more important to be able to work with people from different cultures and social groups. So if students are exposed to diversity and learn cultural awareness in the classroom, it sets them up to flourish in the workforce. Exposing the students to diverse backgrounds in the classroom would help them better prepared by the time they are employed. So, as teachers, we know the reason why we are teaching our students. We are teaching them not only the knowledge, not only the skills that they needed. We are making them a lifelong learner. We are preparing them to the world outside. So once they finish their schooling and be employed in a particular institution wherein they will be working as a team, I'm sure that these students would be ready to be in this world, to be in the world of what do you call this, with wider horizon. Okay, so because they have this they are already familiar, they already what um, individual differences are, they develop understanding, respect. Eventually, um, we would expect that in the future, our students will be working or live in harmony and peace with one another. So, I have here, so those are the reasons why we promote cultural awareness in the classroom. So, I have here a self-evaluation taken from the Simeo Enotech. This evaluation is a teacher of peace self-evaluation questionnaire adapted from Betty Reardon's Attribute of a Teacher of Peace. So, let's try to have this. So, what you're going to do is using your ball pen and your paper, you can rate yourself. So, I will be posting some characteristics, and for each item, you rate yourself. If you consider that you possess a certain characteristic, you give yourself 3 points. If you say, I have this or I am this, you give yourself 3 points. If you think, I may have this or I may be this, you give yourself 2 points. And 1 point if you think, I do not have this or I am not this. Okay? So, are you ready? So, your scores will be 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. So, get ready with your ball pen and your paper and participate to this evaluation. Okay, so the first characteristic is, it says, I understand that education should be a means towards constructive change. Again, I understand that education should be a means towards constructive change. Okay, you may now rate yourself 3 points, 2 points, or 1 point. Number 2. I am actively involved in the community. I am actively involved in the community. Okay, 3, 2, or 1 point. Okay, number 3. I am a lifelong learner who continues to improve my own learning abilities. I am a lifelong learner who continues to improve my own learning abilities. Number 4. I am aware of my own values and live by them. I am aware of my own values and live by them. Number 5. I nurture peace and a sense of community. I nurture peace and a sense of community. Then number 6, I am gender sensitive. I am alert to any possibility of gender bias in myself or in students. I am gender sensitive. I am alert to any possibility of gender bias in myself or in a student. Number 7. I am constructively critical. I use criticism as a tool towards constructive change. Okay, then number 8, I intentionally develop in learners their capacity to care. Number 9, I am an inquirer. I am more a raiser of questions than a giver of answers. And then lastly, number 10, I have the skills of communication. I have the skills of communication. Okay, that's it. So let's try to interpret your results. So what you will do is you are going to add your rate your scores. Okay, so there are 10 items. So for instance, you you got 3 times 10. So you add that. I'm sure you are very good in mathematics. So this is the interpretation of the result. So if you got a score of 26 and above, it indicates that you already possess the attributes of a teacher who promotes and respects cultural diversity. In other words, you are a teacher of peace. If you get a score of 20 to 25, it indicates that you possess some of the attributes, but you still need to do work towards developing your skills and promoting respect and appreciation of cultural diversity. And now, if you scored lower than 20, you need to exert an extra effort in developing your skills and promoting respect and appreciation for cultural diversity in the school setting. Okay, that's it. So, um, I'm sure most of you are happy with the result you get rating yourself because you know yourself better than anyone else. So, congratulations for um, possessing that particular attribute. Sir, no. So these are the sources from which I use in the insights that I shared to you a while back. So thank you very much for sharing attentively to the discussion on diversity and cultural awareness in the classroom. So I hope you gain a lot of insights from to what I shared to you.
Okay, teaching in diverse classrooms can be challenging. I think teachers need to understand that every student has their own background, beliefs, and customs. Therefore, each student learns differently because each student is an individual. The stereotypes should be stripped away so each student has an equal opportunity to succeed. When the teacher is more aware of each student and their personality, then the curriculum and lessons can be made to meet the needs of all the students. The classroom can be run more efficiently. Once teachers are educated on the subject of diversity and stereotypes, they can be better teach their students on the topic. Since children are more impressionable during youth, it is better to teach them right from wrong early to hopefully counteract what their parents or peers may eventually teach them. Students can work together better when they understand each other. It is good to get students, especially at a young age, involved in diversity. This can be accomplished by involving students in activities and lesson plans that teach students about cultures around the world. Each day, the teacher would start off a class with a talk about the country or nationality. And in conclusion, diversity is a positive aspect of education when the teacher and student are knowledgeable in the subject. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my takeaway on the discussion of Ma'am Melanie Barroso, and we are very thankful and grateful for having her as our speaker for tonight. Ma'am Melanie Barroso, thank you so much, and you deserve a virtual round of applause.
Thank you very much, sir.
And so thank you so much, Mom Melanie, and for sharing us your valuable time and for giving us your insights and ideas about diversity and cultural awareness in the classroom. And as one of the young professionals in the field of education, I have learned a lot from your discussion tonight. And for sure, our dear participants will also have their own takeaways from tonight's session. And we would like to request Ma'am Melanie to please stay for a while because we will still be having our question and answer part so that our participants can address the questions and queries about the topic, and we will have that after this quiz competition. And our quiz competition will start after this video. Okay, so welcome back to our program. And again, we are encouraging our participants, our audience, to please participate in our quiz competition for tonight's session. Okay, and I think we have several participants already in the link that was posted in our comment section. By the way, the link for the quiz is posted on the comment section, and you may use the code to join. The code is, okay, it is shown in the screen. The code is all caps IGP quiz. Again, the code is that should be used to enter the link is all caps IGP quiz. You may also join the quiz competition by browsing www.slido.com, and you can join directly even without downloading the Slido application or even without an account in the Slido. But for your convenience, it is better that you download the Slido app so that you can easily access future quizzes, competitions of IGP. IGP will give an e-certificate to each participant who belongs to the top 10 list. Again, you can access the IGP quiz by clicking the link in the comment section, then use all caps IGP quiz as the code to join the quiz. So at this time, we have 73 participants already in our quiz competition. And let me read some of the names. We have Jeneline Villar Resurrection, Cristina Vidal Rosario, we have Elvina Montalvo, Rosie T. Yesores, Jorian Nakwa Cabosas, we have Michelle G. Gaser, Alexander, we have Nico Den Ismiro, Lian C. Cachola, we have Kathleen E. Atiga, Marisol Bravo, Baisa Pakil, We have Mian, Kate Villanueva, Edith F. Galabin, Rubian, Rovi Domingo. We have Marisol Bravo. We have Aliyah. We have Amedita, Maylen B. Gayas. We have Cristel Joy de la Cruz. We have Jorian Nakwa Cabusas, Heidi Altares, Corazon Tamillo. We have Ruby Ann Pampilon. We have Jessa Apostadero and Cherin Callejo Yamaguchi. We also have Cristina V. Del Rosario. Okay, so while waiting for the others to join, we now have 82 participants in our quiz competition, and we are still waiting for the others to get in the link. Okay, by the way, for our participants who still want to join, the code is all caps IGP quiz, and it is posted now in our screen. Okay, we are now 84, and we have Ma'am Enelita. We have Joanna Marie Mateo. We have John Vincent Santos, Amalia Curig, Julius Cesar L. Conde, Lea May Antero, Leia D. Javier, Sahara Dilangalen, Maylen B. Gayas, okay, we also have Kathleen E. Atiga, and Maria Rowena S. Mahumot, John Vincent Santos, Corazon Tamillo, Rosal Nachoman. Okay, we are now 86 in the link for the quiz competition. So again, this is the most awaited part of our webinar session, the most awaited and the most exciting part. Okay, and we will start our quiz competition for a minute. So, to our dear participants, you may now prepare. Okay, so we have 87 participants, and let us now start our quiz competition. What is true about cultural awareness in the classroom? Cultural backgrounds can affect work habits. Cultural backgrounds cannot affect relationships. Question number 1. Okay, the correct answer is cultural backgrounds can affect work habits. And 88% of our dear participants got the correct answer. Let us see the leaderboard. Who's in the top 5? We have Cherilyn Callejo Yamaguchi for the first spot. On the second, LMA Ondoy, Cristel Joy de la Cruz, followed by Jonely Igot. And for the fifth is we have Ogyen Shomo. Okay. Let's proceed to the second question. Cultural diversity should be embraced or understood? And time's up. Let us see. Okay, the correct answer is it should be embraced. And we have 75% of our dear participants got the correct answer. Let us check the leaderboard. Okay, we still have Cherilyn Callejo Yamaguchi for the first spot, followed by LMA Ondoy, Rosy Osores, followed by Cristel Joy S. de la Cruz, and for the fifth spot, we have Janeline Borja Mandawe. And we only have 1 second difference. Third question, teachers should engage the community to develop cultural diversity in schools. Yes, always. No, teachers should educate about cultures in the classroom. Okay, the correct answer is the first option. Yes, it should be always. And 92% of our dear participants got the correct answer. Let us again check the leaderboard. We still have Ma'am Cherilyn Callejo Yamagochi on the first spot, followed by LMA Ondoy, Rosy T. Yosores, Cristel Joy de la Cruz, and Junalie T. Igot on the fifth spot. For the next question, diversity in the workplace can be difference or different in age, race, or culture, only in education. Okay, the correct answer is the first option, and 97% of our dear participants got the correct answer. Let us check the leaderboard. We still have Ma'am Cherilyn Callejo Yamaguchi on the first spot, followed by LMA Ondoy, Rosity Yosores, Cristel Joy de la Cruz, and we have a new name for the fifth spot. We have Queen Yana January Cindy. Okay. Let's have on the fifth question. How should diversity and background and language use in the classroom be viewed by a teacher? As a problem to be ignored or as a resource to be incorporated into planning? Okay, the correct answer is the second option. It should be viewed as a resource to be incorporated into planning. And let us check the leaderboard. Okay, we still have Ma'am Cherilyn Callejo Yamaguchi on the first spot, followed by, okay, the one who is on the fifth spot a while ago. We have Queen Yana January Cindy on the second spot, followed by Crystal Joy de la Cruz, LMA D. Ondoy, and Rosy T. Yosores. Okay, these five people got a perfect score, 5 out of 5, but only they vary on the time lapse in answering the questions. On the sixth question, the benefits of diversity in the workplace include varied talent, skills, and experiences, business performance. Okay, 99% of our dear participants got the correct answer. The correct answer is the first option, varied talent, skills, and experiences. Let us check the leaderboard. Okay, we still have Ma'am Cherilyn Yamaguchi in the first spot, followed by Quindiniana January Cindy, Cristil Joy de la Cruz, LMA Ondoy, and we have Rosy T. Yosores. Seventh question. When fostering cultural awareness, you should recognize that all children are unique or no idea about background of your children. Okay, so the correct answer is the first option, which is to recognize that all children are unique. And 99% of our dear participants got the correct answer. Okay, so there is a changes in the rank. We have on the number 1 spot, we still have Mom Cherilyn Yamaguchi. For the second, we now have LMA D. Ondoy, followed by Rosity Yosores and Cristel Joy de la Cruz. And on the 5th spot, we now have Quindiniana January Cindy, going back on the 5th spot. Let us proceed to the next question. Okay, number 8 demonstrates the ability to value diversity in the workplace, independent living, or multicultural awareness. Okay, and the correct answer is multicultural awareness, with 98% of our participants got the correct answer. Let us check our leaderboard. We still have Ma'am Cherilyn Yamaguchi on the first spot, followed by Rosity Yusores on the second spot. On the third, we have LMA D. Ondoy, followed by Cristel Joy de la Cruz and Quindiniana January Cindy on the fifth spot. Okay. The last question. The term cultural competence has its origin in the blank, healthcare field or college classroom. Okay, let us check. Okay, the correct answer is healthcare field, and 67% of our participants for the quiz competition got the correct answer. And now let us see who's on the top spot. Okay, sorry, that's number 9. Okay, we still have Rosity Yosores, LMA D. Ondoy, Cristel Joy de la Cruz, Quindiniana January Cindy is on the 4th spot, and we have Michelle G. Gasser on the 5th spot. Okay, so it was stand corrected. That was question number 9, not the last question. Let's check the last question. Number 10. Which example reflects the modeling of cultural diversity, sharing family stories and customs, identifying stereotypes in groups of people? Okay, the correct answer is the first option, sharing family stories and customs. And 72% of our dear participants got the correct answer. Congratulations. And let us now see. Okay, the result for our quiz competition for tonight. On the first spot, we have Rosity Yosores. For the second, we have LMA D. Ondoy. For the third, Cristel Joy S. de la Cruz. For the fourth spot, we have Enelita Quitor Villanuevo. And for the fifth, we have Alia. Let us check the other participants who belong to the 6th to the 10th place. For the 6th place, we have Michelle G. Gasser. Number 7 is Evelyn P. Waperi. Number 8 is Leia Facunla. Number 9 is Cristina V. Del Rosario. And for number 10, we have Ginaline Villar Resurrection. Okay, so congratulations to the winners of tonight's quiz competition. Your quiz certificate will be posted in the IGP official Facebook page. So you can search for our Facebook page and look for the latest post. And by then, you can download your e-certificate. Once again, congratulations and thank you also to all participants who joined. For the non-winners, just keep joining to our IGP quiz in every webinar session. We have a lot of webinars coming, so there's a lot of chances also for you to win in our quiz competition. Okay, so once again, congratulations. And let us now come to the question and answer part of our webinar. If you have any questions or queries in mind, please do not hesitate to type your question in the live comment section in our YouTube or in the Facebook, in our live streaming in Facebook. We will start the question and answer portion after this video. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we bring back Mom Melanie Barroso for the question and answer part of tonight's session. So we are encouraging our dear participants to raise your question by typing it in our live comment box. Whether you are tuning into our YouTube or in our live streaming in Facebook, our technical group will post it into our live streaming screen. Hello, ma'am. Melanie Barroza. Welcome
Hello,
back.
sir. Rin. How do you pronounce your name, sir? Rian or Rian Jun?
Rian Jun.
Rian Jun.
They are waiting. Okay, so we have the first question for tonight from Ray Libiran. Good evening, Coach Melanie. How
Wow,
easily
coach.
can you think of ways to deal with the sensitive topic of diversity in the classroom, such as politics, gender stereotypes, and among others, etc.?
Wow. Thank you for that wonderful question. Okay. So, as a teacher, I believe we have a lot of strategies to handle a certain sensitive topic of diversity in the classroom. So, whatever is that strategy that we could think, I'm sure that our students will respect. So once we develop or we build good relationship among our students in the classroom, um, the topic, no matter how sensitive would be, is will become what they call this. It will not be a serious matter. So I think there is no specific way for me to address a particular issue. So to be specific, I am thinking of what they call this, inculcating to our minds of our students the value of respect.
Thank you
So
so much,
that's it.
Ma'am Melanie. No? Just to add something,
Yes.
maybe aside from the awareness of the teachers about multicultural diversity, students must also be aware that they are unique, they are different from each other, and by then, if they know that they are different from each other, they have different beliefs, they have different views, they are coming from different family, different family setting, different family rules, different types of discipline, and I think it will be easy for the teachers to teach that word respect if they understand that notion that the they are different from each other. Okay, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Mom. And also to the first question that we have for tonight. Okay, next question is from Mom Evelyn P. Waperi. Good evening, Ma'am. What do you think, or do you think adding culture complicates a shared culture? Thank you.
Okay. For that question, adding culture complicates a shared culture. I don't think that would not complicate. In fact, if you, because as I said a while ago during the discussion, we should inculcate to our students that there is no culture superior to other culture. Okay, they're only different, and the good thing is not no culture is inferior to the other, and adding culture would make you better understand and appreciate culture.
Okay. So thank you so much, Ma'am Evelyn Piwa Perry, for a very nice question, and also to Ma'am Verosa for a wonderful answer. Okay, next question is from Dave Gemar. Good evening, Ma'am. How do you challenge negative stereotypes in the classroom?
Ayan, all right. So that would fall under the classroom management. So if you recall in our discussion a while ago, we should before the beginning of um, our class, or let's say beginning of the school year, during the first day of our class, we should set a particular rule to our students. So the students would understand or would know how are they going to act accordingly while they are in the classroom, and even when they go out of the classroom, because once they deviate from the rules, there would be a certain or their attention would be called by the teacher, or some, let's say, corrective measures will be applied. So again, so that's it.
So it is something to do with reinforcement on the negative behavior, Ma'am. No, we have they should know the consequences of their actions. Okay, so we have another question from Mac Alfred Bajamonde Malacad. Good evening, Ma'am Melanie. What values are important in our classroom? Respect, tolerance, trustworthiness, self-control, kindness, in a diversity of classroom.
Okay, all of this, thank you for that question, Mac Alfred. Um, all the values you mentioned are very important to be acquired by our students. Okay, so if I will be choosing one of those values, I would choose kindness, because I believe that kindness begets kindness. So if we are kind, oh, I saw the one respect. Okay, I got confused. There is the word respect. Okay, so respect begets respect. So I will be choosing respect, because um, when we respect other people, we will also expect that they would also respect us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom, for that answer. Okay, second question, a follow-up question from Mac Alfred. How are discipline issues handled in a classroom setting? What is the result of this strategy?
So again, that would fall under classroom management. So as teachers, um, If we know our students, how our students behave, we could we can craft measures in handling what they call this in handling discipline issues to our students. So if we apply positive corrective measures in disciplining our students, of course, the result would be uh, would have a good effect to our student.
Okay, thank you so much, Mac Alfred, for that very relevant question. Another follow-up question from Mac Alfred. What makes a classroom special and unique? What are students likely to remember 20 years? Wow, what a very good question. Huh?
Okay, thank you very much, Mac Alfred. You are best in oral discussion. Okay, so what makes a classroom special and unique? Simply because we have learners who are special and students who are entirely different from one another. So, what makes it unique is that these students who have diverse or students having individual differences are being united in our classroom, and they are having a harmonious relationship no matter what culture, no matter what traditions, what language, what race they have, they work and learn as one.
So, what makes a classroom special and unique? Well, based on the discussion of Mom Melanie a while ago, that when a classroom has this atmosphere that the student realizes that he or she is accepted. Okay, so everyone wants to have that belongingness, sense of belongingness. Okay, question number two from Dave Gemart. Can you describe a time you worked with someone culturally, racially, or ethnically different from you? Any challenges created and how you handled it in classroom based?
Thank you, Mr. Dave. Unfortunately, I haven't given a chance or I have not encountered or experienced working with someone culturally. It's only now that I get a chance to be working with other person in this platform. Okay, so what I had experienced is handling a student with so-called a special needs student. Okay, so of course it was really very challenging on my part to handle a particular student different from different from his classmates when it comes to learning abilities. So um, what we did or what our school did is to send us to on a seminar about handling students with learning learning needs. So from that I managed to handle his attitude in our class, and I treat my student fairly the way I treat his classmates, because I do not want him to be bullied or to feel insecure while inside the classroom. I like him to feel as that he is here or he is a student like them also, who are having a normal way of thinking and behavior. And also I gave him an opportunity to show off his talents, and I was so surprised that even though those student with special needs has a very unique talent, and it was so amazing to find that out. And from that, his classmates was amazed and paid respect to him and showed their care and kindness to that student.
Okay, thank you so much, Mom, for that answer. Let us have another question from Sahara Ampadilangalan. There is a student used to bullying their classmates, a naughty one, and most of the teacher catching attention. How would be best way to deal with, or what would be the best way to deal with that student?
Okay, thank you for that question. So I also experienced that kind of student who always bullied his classmates. So what I did is to invite that particular student in a one-on-one conference. So I talked over the matter to him, asked him why he did it that way, and I found out that he was really an attention seeker. Why he always bullying a person to catch the attention of his classmates. So from that, I gave him a special task, like I assigned him to be the leader in the class, and I find it effective because he got a responsibility to hold, and his classmates were so surprised for the changes he had after that talk. So one-on-one conference would do.
Thank you so much, Mom. We have another, a final question from Mark Alfred. Ma'am Melanie, being you, is it important to acknowledge students' diversity in classroom setting? Why or why not?
Thank you so much, Mac Alfred. So if I'm going to give you an award, you are the top one in oral discussion, and because you get a lot of questions, and I really
Very
appreciate that. I hope I could satisfy you in my answer because I'm sure you are an intelligent person. So if I'm going to answer that question, being you, is it important to acknowledge students' diversity in classroom setting? Why or why not? Yes, the answer is yes, I will acknowledge students' diversity in classroom setting. That is why, as facilitator of learning, I see to it that I am giving an equal opportunity to my students to harness their talents, skills, abilities, and uniqueness. Because from those everybody learn and leverage from the differences of other students.
Okay, so thank you so much to our dear participants who actively participated in raising their questions to our speaker for tonight. Okay, and once again, thank you so much, Ma'am Melanie G. Barroso from Tarlac, Philippines. So, Teacher 3 of Anao National High School in the Department of Education, Philippines.
Thank you so much, Sir Rian Jun. Can I acknowledge our school public school district supervisor, Dr. Rhea Bimadamba, um, for giving me this challenge to be a resource speaker in this Institute of Global Professionals. Thank you so much also, IGP, for this very rare opportunity. This is a dream come true for me. And of course, I would like to acknowledge also our school principal, Dr. Raquel G. Bautista, my very supportive principal, and my colleagues in Anao High School, Anao Tarlac Province, and to um, our DepEd supervisor in English, Dr. I forgot the name, sorry, Dr. Um, Mayo. So thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you also, Mama Melanie, for sharing again your expertise and your valuable time in IGP. And I hope We will see each other again in some future, some
So, Rin,
future.
I remember the name. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ang pangalan mo? Pangalan na may progreso na. I'm sorry, sir. Sir Jonathan Gamboa. I'm sorry. He was newly installed as our supervisor. Thank you so much, Sir Ring Jun, for being so patient to me. Thank you, our dear participants, for tuning in to IGP and to our for listening to my talk. I hope you learned something. You learn a lot from, or you gain insights from what I shared. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Mom Melanie. Okay. And before we end, let us have this short reflection. Do not let this pandemic hinder your success to grow. Never allow it to stop you from achieving your dreams in life. Instead, let us look at the positive side and think of how we can be able to adjust and adapt with the changes brought by this pandemic. Remember that it is through pandemic that we were not able to interact physically, but it is also through this pandemic that we were able to learn how to utilize different learning platforms to connect and communicate with great people in the whole world by having webinars like this for free. And of course, it is brought to you or brought to us by IGP. And there are many things to be thankful for. And thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, IGP. And we hope to see you all again in the upcoming webinars. Okay? So for tonight's code, we have all caps IGP 3410. So for our dear participants, you can take a screenshot or you can take a photo on the screen that you are seeing that you are seeing now, because without this code, no one is eligible for certificate. So if you have enrolled in our website under this webinar session, you will be asked to have this code so that you can be able to download the e-certificate. So with code, you can claim your certificates anytime. Okay. So once again, dear participants, thank you so much for actively participating in our quiz competition and for raising your queries and questions in our question and answer. Thank you so much for staying from the beginning up to the last part of this webinar session. Once again, stay happy and stay safe, everyone. I am from Aklan, Philippines. I am your host, Mr. Rianjun P. Calling, signing off.